Hello there, Shop and Piper here. Working my Sunday afternoon basket pipe with some Gowith and Hogarth cherry vanilla, which is actually really nice. Excuse me if I'm a little bit out of frame because I'm using a different camera and it's not got a screen facing me, so I can't really see very well. Anyway, what I want to do, I did try doing a video the other day in Southampton, but to be honest, it was so busy and I went down, I literally couldn't do it. It was just so busy, there were so many people and so noisy that I just couldn't even video it. So all I'll do is I'll try and do a little montage thing instead. And the give me a second. Right. Now the building I wanted to talk about was a building I've always, even as a kid, I always sort of quite liked, and I always thought it was quite an important building back then. It is the building in the centre of Southampton. It's called the Bargate, and I'll just read you a little bit of history on the Bargate. I'm going to put some photos. Hopefully you can see some photos behind me. It says, the Bargate is a building in the city centre of Southampton, England, constructed in Norman times as part of the fortified walled city. Bargate was the main point of entry and exit to and from the north. Since Southampton is on the south coast, this made the Bargate the main gateway to the city. The Bargate is a Grade 2 listed building and a scheduled monument. The Bargate was built circa 1180 and is constructed of stone and flint. Additional archways were added in 1764 and 1774. Further alterations were made to the building around 1290 when large drum towers were added to the north side with arrow slit windows. A two-storey extension was made to the south side towards the end of the 13th century, with 4 windows that light the upstairs room. In the middle of the 4 windows on the south side is a statue of George III in Roman dress, which replaced a wooden statue of Queen Anne. Work was also carried out to the interior of the upper room during the 13th century, when the stone fireplaces were installed. The embattled north front was added to the building around 1400. In 1605, the city's curfew and alarm bell were added to the southwest corner of the building, and a sundial was added a century later. The room above the gate itself has known several uses. It was originally used as the city's guild hall until the 1770s. It was at this point, just knocked the thing. It was at this point that the city began to grow to the north of the gate. Also during the 18th century, 5 panels containing painted shields were added to the building. In 1765, a passage was cut through the eastern side of the arch for pedestrians. A further passage through the western side was added later. Following the establishment of Southampton's police force in 1836, the upper room was used as a prison. The Bargate was separated from the adjoining town in the 1930s. The monument again served as the police headquarters for the city during the Second World War. And it basically says, after being closed for the public for several years, the upper rooms were opened in March 2006 as an art gallery. That is my historic building, is the Bargate in Southampton. I've walked through there many times, and every time I go through I do honestly marvel and just think back of the thousands and thousands of people over the hundreds since 1180 that have gone through that same archway. So there we have it, the Bargate in Southampton. Thanks a lot.